I think there's an academic, or perhaps a sort of high moral ground habit of saying that you can't show these events in ways that make them in any way attractive. But the point is, in popular forms, that's inevitable. It's part of how it's done. La meglio gioventù, romanzo criminale, La prima linea, there's various others. They need to engage, if you like, with the surface appeal of the time. And there's a kind of a nostalgic recurrence to the traumatic past, in other words. They need to engage with that surface appeal, you know, the cool clothes, the nice cars.
Torniamo a Roma invece, Ci porto io in un posto.
Even in Romanzo Criminale, they pay a trip to a Roman church to look at the Caravaggios.
Chi sono?
È la Madonna dei Pellegrini. Vedi che c'è Maria che tiene in braccio il bambino e lo mostra ai pellegrini che sono venuti a chiedere la grazia, perché Gesù è proprio un simbolo di salvezza. Poi vedi quel lenzuolino bianco, quello ce lo mette Caravaggio come un segno premonitore, come se fosse il sudario, capito? Perché ci vuole dire che Cristo morirà giovane. E difatti la Madonna è triste.
A me mi pare fiera, però.
Che?
La Madonna. Mi pare fiera.
So very explicitly talking about the heritage of Italy, of which then terrorism becomes a part. Terrorism is a dark background against which the best of Italy, or the best of youth, La meglio gioventù, can shine out. The Best of Youth is a kind of historical epic originally made for TV. And it tells the story of two brothers, a very common trope in Italian cinema, fraternal style relationships as the vehicle of historical representation. It tells the story of two brothers, one of whom becomes a campaigning psychiatrist, another of whom becomes a policeman. And through this, they give this historical panorama of modern Italian society, including terrorism. It was a bit like a rehabilitation, or it was finally the moment where everyone could kind of, as it were, saying, me, I was there too, we're all part of this. You know, we worked hard, we still work hard to make Italy better, sort of thing. We have been demonized, we have been pathologized, but no, we were the best. So a very strong outpouring of emotion, and this series was the occasion for that. Inside Italy, you have this heritage filmmaking that's dealing with traumatic pasts in, yes, a consolatory fashion, or even in an exploitative fashion. So you get these spectacular representations of terrible events like the Bologna bombing. This happens in the film Romanzo Criminale, where they digitally recreate the explosion that killed 80 people and injured 200 in 1980. There's a sense in which, as in a disaster movie, we can enjoy the spectacle. And the film then, not least by me, has been criticised for this exploitative fascination with the event that it's supposedly trying to both commemorate and denounce the perpetrators of. But I got fed up with that position, basically, because how do you do this? You know, how do you elaborate in a popular form the difficult facts of one's history without becoming po-faced, without becoming over-didactic, without becoming not popular, in effect. So there's a sense in which I think people are very uncomfortable with the acknowledgement of the appeal. I think you absolutely find this in relation to the Baader-Meinhof complex, Much of the discourse about that film was about the fact that these actors were the most charismatic and beautiful faces of their generation in Germany. And they were playing the members of the Red Army faction. That film is absolutely a heritage film, it seems to me. It's a genre film, it's an action film, but it's one that adduces the beauty and a kind of nostalgia for that past, that period. A period when one lived more intensely, if you like, which is one of the ways we engage with history always. How are you going to talk about the appeal, the fascination of these figures if you don't make them fascinating? Ultimately, the kind of condemnation of the whole heritage aesthetic, it's built upon a distrust of the audience. It's about assuming that people are fooled. But in order to understand, we have to be, to some extent, seduced. And this is what these films are doing. They're operating a form of seduction that is absolutely inseparable, indistinguishable from their effort of elaboration of the traumatic past. The beautiful actors, the beautiful costumes, all of these things are part of it. And without them, I don't know that they'd be doing their job.